Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm extremely excited to bring you the most affordable Chevy in the lineup, the all-new 2024 Chevy Trax. Now before we begin, I want to give a huge thanks to Erickson Chevrolet here in Milan, Illinois for providing the Trax scene today's video. If you guys are interested, I'll leave their information down in the description below, so make sure to check it out. So if you guys have been following along with the channel, then you'll know I have done several comparison videos in the trim level format where I am back in the studio comparing the paper specs between different trim levels. And today I'm excited to finally get hands-on. This is actually the second one I've had hands-on time. I did have brief hands-on time with an active trim, but that was only like 5 minutes. Pretty crazy, but nonetheless, this is the 1RS that I have behind me, which is the first level to get some of the sporty appearance packages, as there is a 2RS available, which comes with more equipment. But the 1RS is definitely the more affordable option, sitting even under the LT, around that $23,000 price point to start. This one does have a few additional option packages, which brings the price closer to the $24,000 mark. But nonetheless, the Trax across the entire lineup remains extremely affordable. While in this generation, the Chevy Trax actually grew in size to be actually larger in physical dimensions, in most dimensions anyway, than that of the Chevy Trailblazer. So this vehicle behind me is ever so slightly larger than the Trailblazer, which is technically one step up in the segment, a little bit more expensive, a little bit more luxurious on the interior, some of the features, options, and amenities. And of course, the Trailblazer does offer optional all-wheel drive, where the Trax does not. So I really do think the Chevy Trax is going to remain a very hot seller for General Motors, especially given the price point starts just over $21,000 including destination and tops out fully loaded with all the available amenities at just over $27,000, including an extra cost paint color and all of the available option packages. But with all that being said, let's not waste any more time. Take a look at what the Chevy Trax 1RS has to offer for right around $24,000. So the Chevy Trax in front of us is finished in the Nitro Yellow exterior, and this one has the jet black, gray, and red accented cloth interior. If you do step up to the 2RS, you will get the jet black leatherette seating surfaces with the red accents throughout. So that is a similarity, as both the RS trims will get the red accents on the interior and some of the sporty elements on the outside, but some of the interior materials will be slightly different. Starting at the front end of the 1RS, you will get the lesser lighting package, but it still is very nice for the price point of this vehicle. So standard across every Trax is the LED projector headlights. Now, unfortunately, you do not get LED daytime running lights in this horizontal portion right here. That is your incandescent turn signals. If you do get an LT or higher, that will be an LED daytime running light up top with your incandescent bulbs a little bit farther down on the vehicle. Now, the 1RS will share a lot of the exterior similarities to that of the 2RS, with the darkened chrome accented grille with the gloss black accents. Of course, you do have the nice red RS badge with the black bow ties to signify that this is a little bit sportier of a trim. Down below, some of the gloss black trim will follow on the front bumper, and that will wrap into the side of the vehicle with, of course, the matte black plastic, which is pretty popular on most SUVs these days. But as a whole, you will see a lot of resemblance in the front end design to that of the sister vehicle, the Chevy Trailblazer, as well as even the bigger vehicle, the Chevy Blazer in the GM lineup. So all of those vehicles will have the split headlight and daytime running light design. Now, coming to the wheels and tires, these are going to be the 1RS specific wheel and tire setup. They're going to be 18-inch in size, believe it or not, with the machined and gloss black accents. They are a very sporty 5-spoke design, in my opinion, and are wrapped in Goodyear Assurance all-season tires, 225, 55, 18-inch in size. So a nice quality all-season. You do get gloss black mirror caps here on the 1RS, no turn signal integration or anything like that. The 1RS comes standard with heated side mirrors. Blind spot detection is optional, which this one does have. Now, unfortunately, you do not get proximity entry unless you step up to the LT with the convenience package or higher, so that is a little bit of a bummer in this regard. But here at the side of the Trax, you can see you do have a lot of the matte black plastic accents on the lower cladding, as well as the B and C pillar trims. You do get tinted windows out back, standard across every Trax, which is very nice. That used to be a former option that you get on the old or last generation Trax, as well as some of the Trailblazers even, but that is made standard equipment. Out back, you won't find any LED lighting, unfortunately, across the entire Trax lineup. So incandescent brake light, turn signals, and reverse lights. A little bit more gloss black accents on the lower section of the tail light. And out back, that gloss black or darkened chrome trim does return for the 1RS and 2RS trims in the lower diffuser portion, with, of course, your red RS badge on the right side of the tailgate. But the most striking aspect at the rear end of this new Trax, I think, is going to be just the overall slope or slant of the rear window and the hatch itself. It does poke out quite a bit and then comes more vertical straight down on this section right here. So when you see it in person for the first time, it is a little bit awkward, I'm not gonna lie, but as a whole, I think Chevy did a very good job designing this next generation Trax, not only increasing the size, because it is more of a size that a lot of people will like on a day-to-day basis and find more utility out of, but as a whole, I think, like I said, for the mid $20,000 price point, which this one is, you really can't ask for much more in a vehicle nowadays. But let's go ahead and take a look at the window sticker on this particular one so you guys know exactly the equipment on it, and then we'll dive onto the interior. So like I mentioned, this is the Trax 1RS. It doesn't have too many available option packages, but each trim will have a few additional things you can add to them. This one does have the Nitro Yellow Metallic, which is an extra $395. And it also has the driver confidence package for $250, which includes the rear cross traffic alert and the lane change alert with side blind zone alert, which brings the total MSRP, including destination, to $23,840. So this remains extremely affordable, similar to that of a compact sedan or hatchback not too long ago, but you are getting the obviously larger body style. So taking a look on the interior, this one has the two-tone interior, like I said, with the jet black, gray, and red accents throughout. Starting out here on the driver's side door panel, it will be a lot of hard touch materials here on the lesser trims of the Trax. So this is all gonna be hard touch. The armrest is hard touch plastics, but you do have some nice silver accented trim around the window switchgear and a good amount of storage in the lower door panel. Power windows, mirrors, and locks, none of them are gonna be automatic up, unfortunately, but they do have automatic down functionality. Chrome accented door handle pull, and there is your speaker grille down on the lower door section. This is a 6-way manual driver's seat with the red and gray accent stitching. And you can see the bottom section of the seat is totally different from the backrest portion, which is a lighter gray accent with the patterned effect throughout. It does look very nice, but may not be for everybody. And you can get the different materials if you do step up to the Active or 2RS trim. But going ahead and stepping inside, the step in height is extremely easy. This one now, unfortunately, does not have push button start available. However, you can see there is remote start on the key fob as standard. We'll go ahead and start it up. And there you can see the gauge cluster does sweep because this one does not have the 8-inch fully digital cluster like that of the LT, 2RS, and Active trims, but you can see it does have the RS specific red accented gauge cluster with the RS badge on the left side in the tachometer. You do have a small 3.5-inch monochromatic display here in the center, like some of the older GM products we have seen over the last few years. You can control that here on the left-hand side stalk, so if you hit select, you can cycle through the menus and then use this little dial to scroll up and down, and the end is the check or the select reset button to control that system. So it is very handy indeed, but it is not the fully digital display that you can get on the higher trim levels. This does have the RS leather wrap steering wheel, which is going to be heated, believe it or not. That is standard equipment on every RS trim with the gloss black flat bottom accents and the black bow tie in the center. You do have regular cruise control here on the left side with your forward collision avoidance assist. On the right side, multimedia controls, some of your volume favorites, stuff like that. I do like the way it is labeled in this particular vehicle with the favorites left and right and the volume rocker up and down. Regular wipers, it does have high beam assist here on the left side. Like I said, there is your regular wiper stock. Automatic LED headlights, like I mentioned earlier. No fog lights, unfortunately. And there is the red accented dashboard with some of the silver accents and the pattern texture throughout. It does look actually fairly premium for this price point of vehicle. And taking a look across the dashboard, you see mostly black hard touch plastics, but it is nicely textured over here just to break it up a little bit. And again, for the price point, it looks very nice. Coming to the infotainment system, this is the standard 8-inch infotainment with built-in AM, FM, Sirius XM, USB, Bluetooth inputs. It does have wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay, standard across every Trax, no matter which screen size you get. I do like the physical controls here on the left side with the home button and the volume power knob. I will say the knob itself is just a little bit on the shallow side, so it is fairly close to the plastics itself. Not a big deal. I do like the rubber grip on it, so it is very easy to control. And nice to see there are some manual physical buttons nonetheless. This is the same layout you've seen in many GM vehicles with the 8-inch system over the last few years. Built-in Wi-Fi hotspot, has like Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, like I mentioned, OnStar services, and you can control a lot of the vehicle settings through here as well. 2 AC vents just below that screen with more of the silver trim that runs into the passenger side dashboard. Single zone manual climate control, but this does have 3-stage heated seats as standard, which is very cool. Every RS will have 3-stage heated seats. And again, for around $23,000, that is very impressive. And you don't really see manual climate controls with heated seats too often anymore. So very interesting indeed in terms of the packaging. USB-A and USB-C inputs, 12-volt outlet, and a good amount of storage down below. There's your engine stop start off button, as well as your lane keeping assist on off. You do have a RS specific leather wrap shift knob, as well as the shift boot itself. You can control the 6-speed automatic plus or minus here on the left side of the knob. I do really like the red accented RS badge and the red accent stitching. 2 large cup holders with a slot in the center, electronic parking brake. A little bit more storage in front of the center console. This is a rubberized padded texture. It does not slide, unfortunately, but as you can see, there is a good amount of storage inside. Up top, you do have the black headliner. I believe this is a microphone for the active noise canceling. No vanity illumination. Manual dimming rear view mirror. There's your OnStar buttons, passenger airbag indicator, and incandescent overhead lighting. No sunroof on this particular unit, and I believe you do have to get a 1RS or higher to have the option of a sunroof. But nonetheless, I am very impressed at the interior for the $23,000 price point of this vehicle. Now take a look at the back seat. This is again where a lot of the space is seen in this larger generation of vehicle. Looking at the door panel, I would say most of the materials do fall through, given it is mostly hard touch plastics. It would be nice to see the silver accent trim continue to the back doors as well. But again, you can't expect everything given the overall price point. But nonetheless, pretty nice interior. The cloth seating surfaces will continue out back with the two-tone look to them on the backrest portion. The step and height is very easy. I do have to duck my head just a little bit to get inside and clear the door sill. Out back, you won't find any USB charge ports on the 1RS or AC vents. It does have a little storage pocket up here. No mat pockets either on both of the front seats. No center armrest, but the seats do fold down 60-40 split, and the headrests do tilt down as well via that button right there, so better visibility out the back. As you can see, it is quite sloped in that regard, so that should give you just a few more inches to see out the back glass. But nonetheless, you can see just how spacious the 1RS is. I say I have 6 to 8 inches easily, tons of foot room beneath the seats. You can move your feet around without any issues. And in terms of headroom, even though this does have a more slanted roof line, easily about 3 inches of headroom in the back. Seats themselves are on the good side. I would say they're a little bit stiffer, but they are pretty supportive. So there's not a lot of give, but they are very comfortable. No complaints there. You can see the armrest. Yeah, I mean, even though this is a smaller vehicle, the dimensions definitely allow for a ton of room, especially here in the back seat. So I don't see car seats really being that big of an issue in a vehicle like this. Let's go ahead and take a look at the cargo space. This is another really promising point of this vehicle. Manual liftgate. Does have the struts on it. And you can see behind the second row seats, just a ton of storage space. This one does not have the integrated privacy cover, but that does come on some of the higher trims that you can remove, and they're placed on these knobs right here. It does have a hard cargo floor, which you can stick up, and it will support itself just like that for easier access down below. Temporary spare tire, as you can see, and on either side of the spare, you can pretty much put additional items you need to store inside the vehicle with ease. So storage is very good in this vehicle. There is a cubby here on the left side that does go down about 6 inches below the floor. Nothing like that on the right side, but there are some tie down hooks if needed. But as a whole, like I said, the seats do fold down 60-40 split, and you can fit a lot of nice stuff, at least of reasonable size, inside of this vehicle. Now wrapping up here on the passenger front seat, 4-way manual seat, so no height adjustment. And there's a better look at the passenger side dashboard with the vent design, which is very impressive given the overall price point. It actually looks fairly premium, and you can slide this and move it all around to adjust the airflow how you would like. But as a whole, like I said, really impressive. It does not have a damped glove box, no LED or illumination inside. But yeah, that is a look on the interior of the 1RS trim of the all-new Trax. Let's go ahead and take a look under the hood and see what powers this particular vehicle. Under the hood of the all-new Chevy Trax, you will find a fairly familiar engine. That is the 1.2 liter turbocharged inline 3-cylinder from the Chevy Trailblazer. However, Chevy has made a few changes to this engine to not only make it a little bit more reliable, I do believe, but also to just improve the performance down low with the torque figures and stuff like that. Now this engine puts out 137 horsepower and 162 pound-feet of torque only through the front wheels, as all-wheel drive is not available on the new Chevy Trax, and this is paired to a 6-speed torque-converted automatic. So this is one of the aspects that I really do like about this Trax, as they didn't choose to go with a CVT type transmission. They went with a torque converted automatic, which should feel very traditional to many buyers out there that are looking at this segment of SUV. So if you're looking for a torque converted automatic, that only comes here in the Chevy Trax, where if you do get a front wheel drive Trailblazer, which is a step up from this vehicle, you will get the CVT type transmission. So that's going to do it for this video on the all-new 2024 Chevy Trax 1RS. Now, I think this exterior color really suits the RS trim levels in specific. And like I mentioned earlier on in this video, if you guys are interested in the trim level comparisons with the features, options, and just overall amenities that you can get on each one, make sure to check out some of the other videos I have here on the channel, comparing not only the 1RS to the 2RS, but also the LS to the LT, as there's a lot of value information in those videos. Now, I'm sure I've mentioned it quite a bit throughout this video, but I really do think Chevy did a great job with the all-new Trax. I've heard nothing but positive comments about this vehicle for the given price point. Here, this one's under $24,000 by a few $100s, and you get heated seats, heated steering wheel, leather-wrapped steering wheel that is nice perforated leather. You get wireless Android Auto, wireless Apple CarPlay, and a lot of the Chevy safety systems, including high beam assist, LED projector headlights, lane keeping assist, emergency braking, and stuff like that. So as a whole, I really do think that this one is a very nice vehicle, especially if you want to keep it on the more affordable side of things, with the current automotive space just getting pricier and pricier every year. Chevy's kind of going against the grain, if you will, and offering a very nicely equipped, cheaper subcompact SUV at an affordable price point. So with all that being said, hopefully you guys are able to take a look at the new Chevy Trax in person if you guys are interested. I really highly recommend checking one out if you're able to. And yeah, you just have to let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. But with all that being said, I appreciate the continued support, and I hope to see you guys in the next one.